And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the day. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He's Jalen versus everybody.
What up, dog?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in, center stage without a mic.
And we putting it on wax. It's the new style.
I really missed the microphone.
We're Jalen and Jacoby. What do we do?
We get people what they want.
Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. If you're like me, you're looking forward to Father's Day. My policy on Father's Day and Mother's Day in my family is the last thing I want to do on Father's Day is be a father. I'm not changing any diapers. I'm not making any meals. I'm not putting pajamas on y'all. I'm not putting shoes on y'all. I'm not putting you to bed. I'm not taking you to the playground. I'm not doing any of that. Unless I want to.
Yeah.
I'll be a father for like 30.
I'm all about rest and relaxation. The remote control will be in my hand. Netflix, Amazon, flipping back and forth.
I'll watch a little World
between
Cup.
the tube. I know Tiger won't be in it, so I won't pay attention to that.
Not at all.
No NFL to watch, no NBA to watch, so just going to binge watch on some of my favorite things and catch up on some albums.
Really?
I got to catch up on some bars. I've been slacking
Nas
in my
will be out
own
by
world.
then, I think.
Nas will be out.
by then.
I got to go back and listen to Royce again. I've been listening to Pusha Crazy.
I've been going hard on Pusha. The thing, I like these 7-song albums.
Love.
I like that.
Love.
You know, because I feel like I've listened to Pusha like for the last 2 weeks. Like, I'm good on that. I got it. I digested Pusha. I'm good.
My favorite initial EP was 100 Miles and Running. 6 songs. It's like, oh, okay, this is fly. And you can do that when you're giving quality content. So that's what I'm going to do. Catch up on my movies, catch up on some songs. Did Superfly come out yet?
No.
I got to go see that too. I think Superfly comes out today.
The trailer didn't really get me too excited for that one.
Hey, let me tell you something. As long as I'm breathing, I'm going to see Superfly.
What about White Boy Rick?
I
had never heard of White Boy Rick before I saw the trailer.
Oh, I didn't see the trailer.
Oh, the trailer's out, and during the NBA Finals, they had a big thing. So you're familiar with the term White Boy Rick? Well,
let me just tell you this. It kind of threw me off when you said that because there is a notorious drug kingpin that you can Google right now.
That's who the movie is about in Detroit.
Okay, got it. Okay,
yes.
I 1,000% know who that is.
Yeah, I was surprised when you gave me that face. When you thought it was like, oh, there must be a different White Boy Rick.
Yes.
Because the White Boy Rick I know would never have a movie made about him.
Oh, yes, I do.
So they made a biopic about White Boy Rick in Detroit.
Oh, okay.
I'm excited to see it.
There have been numerous kingpins that have gotten documentaries and biopics done about them that are from the city of Detroit.
BET covered a lot with American Gangster.
They did. They covered 30% of our city's history. How we influenced the country in different ways.
Well,
but now we're doing it through education.
We're trying to influence the country here at Jalen and Jacoby. And one of the things that we're trying to really push is Jalen's favorite segment, cultural versus regional. Now, one of the things we say is we give the people what they want. Part of that is involving the people in our creative process.
Love to involve the people.
So we asked them to send us some voicemails with some proposal for cultural regional questions, and we got a bunch of them. Jalen Rose just dropped a cough drop into his tea.
So for everybody,
you Bill Cosby your own tea.
No question. So for I like what you did there. That's very nice, sir. Give me some. So we're in our bag today. Here's what I mean. My brother and I in the studio for the first time in really 6 or 7 months other than the live shows. It's not Monday. He's been here a few days. I've been here all week since the finals ended in 4, as opposed to me being in San Francisco and Cleveland this week.
It's great.
Okay, so on Friday, I know a few reasons why we settle in. I'm walking through the offices, as I'll call them. Jacoby, pony boxes everywhere. Mm-hmm. He's ready to get fresh for the show. His kick game been tight. He had the Diodoras the last couple of days.
I wear Diodoras a lot. I wear ponies a lot. Everyone is so hype beastie about the Nike and Adidas. And Nike and Adidas comes out with fly sneakers. Those are my favorite sneakers in the world. Those are probably my 2 favorite sneaker brands in the world. But when you walk the streets, everyone's just got the latest Nikes. Everyone's just got the latest Adidas. And there's so many sneaker brands out there that one way to be different is to wear $30 ponies. You know what I mean? And if they're brand new, they're fly.
But also, David, give yourself credit for something. You're a sneakerhead.
Oh,
And those people who truly understand what that banner means, it can be easy for me to come on J&J every day and rock some Jordans. They can be knockoffs and people be like, oh, those fresh.
Of course.
You're killing them.
Of course.
Blindly, because y'all don't know that y'all have an allegiance, a cult following to a brand. It happens in life. Okay, but you just talked about going deeper into the box score.
Got to.
I do that as well.
And it also what generation you're from. You know what I mean? When I was playing basketball and when I was a young man, I was not a sneaker collector because we didn't have enough money. My mom didn't prioritize my sneaker game.
There was a lot of other things you had to buy for the house to function.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I always had a pair of sneakers, but like, it wasn't like she wanted to keep me laced with a whole closet full of shoeboxes.
So we're not going to pay the light bill, but we're going to get you the fly kicks.
That's not how it went. But what happened is I became a sneakerhead in terms of just knowing what's out there, just memorizing the East Bay catalogs. You know what I mean? And
Classic East Bay.
Understanding everything that was out there and looking at everybody's feet when like the Ewings were hot. And I remember when those came, like they come a little later to Western Massachusetts than they came to other places in the country. But just understanding it, and then when you get older and you start making your own money, you can start making your own purchases. And that's when it really becomes like, oh, now I need to make my sneaker game on point. But now, in the last couple of years, I just decided I'm gonna veer away from Nike and Adidas a little more than I used to.
And in my sneaker game journey, it works both ways because I got a chance to play in them and I got a chance to rock sneakers away from the court. And one of the things I distinguished early in my life, they don't go together. The shoes I'm hooping in ain't the shoes I'm rocking.
No, I mean, you can pull off some Kyries. There's certain LeBrons that look good with the right thing. But like a lot of the time, if you're wearing a true basketball sneaker, it'll only look right in the wild if you have shorts on or if you have some sweatpants on. Or the right sneaker with the right outfit, you can rock with some jeans, but generally a casual sneaker works out.
And as we talk fashion, so just think about the distinction you just made. So for me, when you talk about Jordans, when I'm seeing people rock them, some of the times they're actually rocking basketball shoes.
And they look good. Sometimes.
And sometimes they don't realize they're not rocking them right.
Yes, I would say
based on what you just said.
Jordan 1s, Jordan 2s, Jordan 1s, Jordan 3s, Jordan 4s all look good with like some jeans or whatever. But when you get up there with like even the 13s look good, but anything past that, like those are basketball shoes. They're big and they're chunky. And like I understand that you paid $600 for those special 7s or whatever, but like you're not wearing them right.
And so for me, my journey off the floor was like Adidas, Run DMC. Period. My introduction, okay, no shoestrings in them, shell toes, Stan Smiths. Then they start making the top 10s, the Concords. I had some
love the top 10s.
I had some snakeskin gray Adidas. You could top 10s. You couldn't tell me nothing. So much so I went and got an Ohio State jacket to wear with it. I'm like, that's going to be the kickoff to the outfit.
Jalen Rose is not loyal to his teams. He's loyal to his outfits.
No question.
The one thing I learned about you. Oh, I got some green shoes. I'll wear a Michigan State sweatshirt.
No doubt.
Whatever.
No question. And so it was that level of Adidas. And then the other B-boy side of me was all Puma. Watching Beat Street, watching Wild Style, wanting to break dance, watching Lee, watching Turbo, watching Ozone, watching all of these cats.
So here's a question. Puma Suedes and Puma Clydes. Pretty much the same shoe.
Hey, man.
Like, I can tell the difference, but
Holy
like,
Grail.
you gotta look at the little rubber on the bottom, and it's basically just that little word is the only real difference, but the Clydes will cost you a lot more.
Holy Grail. So I love them so much, I couldn't get any of my size, so I bought Jacoby some for his birthday.
You did. I still have them. I have the white on whites just in case, sitting in the closet. That's my in case you need a pair of break glass.
And you know what just gave me life recently as somebody that's 6'8" and wears a size 15? I saw they just signed a basketball player.
Let's get the people what they want.
Summer road trip season is about to begin, and among the many ideas of where to go, you know you want to catch your favorite baseball team away from home. While the Lucky Cap, well-worn t-shirt, and road snacks make the checklist, don't overlook the most important part of your trip, your tires. That's why you need to add a trip to Goodyear.com to the list. Goodyear strives to make tires that go further, longer, and bring you what's necessary to get the most out of your driving experience. So when it comes to choosing tires, choose right at Goodyear.com. Goodyear, more driven.
Well, if you remember back to Monday at the parade, things were getting saucy with all the Warriors. Jordan Bell's drinking hen, everyone's spraying champagne everywhere. And Warriors general manager Bob Myers had some awkward things to say about Kevin Durant.
And then I heard you tell Kevin Durant he can have whatever contract he wants next year.
Yeah, that was just for the media. He can't have anything like that at all. Mid-level. Yeah, mid-level, behind closed doors.
Because I think last year he told Steph he could have any contract he wants, too.
Yeah,
So,
well, yeah, that was different. He's been here from the run, the way before days. He's earned it.
And there ended the Warriors' cohesion right there.
So that was awkward. And then, as if he hadn't heard it enough, Myles Garrett of the Browns went on a local radio show, and here's what he had to say about KD.
KD broke the league. You hopped onto a 73-9 team, and he took the easy way out, in my mind. If I were him, I wouldn't have never made a move like that in the first place. Me, I'm too competitive to try and ride on somebody's coattails to get a W.
Jalen, why aren't we over this? Like, why is this still happening? Like, originally, when this happened, I did feel a certain way about KD, but now I feel awful for KD that he still has to deal with this. Do you feel sympathy for Kevin Durant that he's constantly being bombarded with these accusations and these statements?
Not at all. He knew what he was getting into, and to the winner go the spoils. Because he did it, 2 straight championships, 2 straight finals MVP. I came to a team that's going to highlight my skills. Though everybody was great, he basically said it, I feel like I'm the best player on the team. You get him to the biggest stage, he shines, and now all of a sudden, you're going to have the backlash. But we didn't need him to go out and do it in back-to-back seasons to know that there was going to be backlash.
But if you say, Myles Garrett, what is your priority as a professional football player to win the Super Bowl? What do you want to do with the Cleveland Browns? I want to win the Super Bowl. It's like, and we're blaming KD. We prioritize championships and evaluating careers and evaluating success in athletics so much to a fault. But then once somebody makes the move to win themselves some championships, everybody just criticizes.
It's because the game got easy with analytics. Because now only thing people got lazy and started counting rings. That's it. He's the best because he has X amount of rings. When we talk about greatest players of all time, Karl Malone doesn't come up. John Stockton doesn't come up. Charles Barkley doesn't come up. Reggie Miller doesn't come up.
Iverson.
Allen Iverson doesn't come up. They should be more appreciated by how they performed. Except we're so blinded by the fact that individuals have rings, and then we want to quantify it. Organizations win rings.
That's a good point.
Okay, let anybody that's walking this earth that has 3 rings, go up to them and be like, what kind of guy is Bill Russell? Hey, what kind of guy was Red Auerbach? Tell me about playing for Pat Riley. Tell me about playing with the Showtime Lakers. Tell me about playing with Larry Bird. Tell me about playing with Michael Jordan. Tell me about playing with Shaq. Tell me about playing with Kobe. How's Tom Brady as a guy? What's Tim Duncan like? Like that's just what happens when you have game-changing players. Like when you put Belichick with Tom Brady, they're going to win. They turned over the roster multiple times. They still won Super Bowls. So people are going to be mad at KD because we wanted to see KD go against them.
Individuals don't win rings. Organization wins rings. That's a very good point. There's another organization that's trying to win a ring. And the co-owner and president of basketball operations of that organization, Jeannie Buss, tweeted this interesting little tweet. She tweeted, quote, do not ever underestimate nothing else to say. That obviously sparked a lot of speculation as to what she was talking about. Do not ever underestimate nothing else to say. Jalen, she just told her players, this organization just told their players to tone it down on social media. We don't want any problems. And now here she is doing this. Should the Lakers executives follow their own advice when it comes to social media habits?
I think what ends up happening is we talk about the Lakers and rightfully so. They're a storied brand and a terrific franchise. They have 16 championships. Some of the best players that have ever played basketball have worn their uniform. So we're going to gravitate to the news that's happening, especially when it's Magic Johnson, it's Ron Pelinka, when they have 2 maximum spots. When you look at all of the players that they've drafted over the last couple of years, but they really haven't been able to acquire one of the best players in the game. So now that's what this summer is all about. So they hear the talk, they understand the pressure, and they see the pundits and the fans and wondering, is it going to be able to happen? She has to send some level of comfort. She probably got a text. She probably got an email. Probably got on the phone with a manager or agent.
Something.
Like, yes, we feeling good about today.
I don't think she's talking about her new chili recipe. You know what I mean? Like I don't think she's talking about underestimating, like, you know, how she's been getting it in the gym. Like, I think that she knows something and she's just kind of teasing because she can't. You know, when you have some good news, then you just can't hold it in, or you have a secret you can't hold it in. That's what happened with her. She just couldn't hold it in. So she's like, what can I say that's just so little that I won't get in trouble, but enough to make everybody talk about the Lakers?
People just don't underestimate that Chris Paul is also a free agent this offseason.
Okay. Some very interesting news regarding the draft this morning that was reported. Marvin Bagley III has signed a big sneaker deal with, wait for it, Puma. This is interesting for a lot of reasons. Number one, Puma has been out of the basketball sneaker game for quite some time. Also, this is a very big deal in terms of numbers. We haven't gotten the exact numbers yet, but it's supposed to be one of the biggest deals since Kevin Durant signed. And there is the old cliche that big men don't sell sneakers, and he is 6'11". Jalen Rose, are you surprised that they've decided that Marvin Bagley is the player that they wanted to invest in to reestablish the Puma basketball brand?
I'm not surprised because when you talk about reestablish, you got to go with what's considered the best and or the safest pick in this year's draft. And we know about the ceiling of Ayton, and you know about the potential of Mo Bamba. You hope what Trae Young did in college is going to translate. Jaren Jackson is about potential.
Of course.
You know, Michael Porter Jr.
It
can
feels
he stay
like a high ceiling, low floor
No question.
draft.
Like, at some point, you got to settle somewhere. And he seems like the guy that has a chance to be like a next Chris Bosh.
20 and 10.
Get you 20 and 10,
Yep.
get you a couple of blocks. He's going to be an improved jump shot shooter. I think if you're going to pick someone in this year's draft, he would have been the guy.
Jalen, you've taught me a lot about the world of professional basketball. And one of the things that you taught me is that these sneaker relationships don't start when someone declares for the draft. And his family had an AAU team named Family, and it was funded by Nike. Also, he went to Duke, which is a Nike school. Usually, as you've taught me, this leads to signing a Nike contract. Does that surprise you?
Well, what does not surprise me is Puma clearly wants to get in the game. And when you come into the game, you got to make a splash. So you upset the apple cart. Those other shoe companies, in particular the ones you said that he had in high school and college, they wanted them as well.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure there was some winkers along the way. But y'all see how much money they're going to
Yeah, it's like you get the two contracts in front of you. It's like, unless you guys are willing to match this, I'm going to be wearing Puma.
It's like, congratulations. But I'm happy for Puma because you know how much of a fan I am of their brand.
You love Puma
From growing up as a shorty watching B Street, thick shoestrings, the suede ones, the leather ones. Now that they signed a basketball player for selfish reasons, I can get 15s now. You've sent emails.
Here's what they did.
Sent texts to try to get me bigger shoes.
I know what they did. Rihanna was in the meeting. That's all it is. They actually offered half as much as Nike, but Rihanna was in the meeting. They're like,
Shout out to
okay.
Puma. Holla at your boy.
You want some free shoes. Well, Jalen Rose, we have an update on the Pusha T Drake quote-unquote beef. Now, earlier this week, Drake announced that he was coming out with his album titled Scorpion, weird title, and it was going to come out on June 29th, 2 weeks from today. And now, there's rumors and reports that he is going to respond to Pusha T, but not now, on the album. Is that a smart business play? Is that way too late to respond to a diss track in 2018, or both?
I think it's a corporate way to respond because when people hear the record, you want them also promoting and buying your record.
Which is kind of what Pusha T did too. You remember when all this bubbled up, he just happened to have released Daytona.
I mean, some of my favorite diss records and some of my favorite artists who weren't seeing eye to eye at a time when NWA did it with Ice Cube, it was the exact same thing. When Biggie and Pac was doing it, it was the exact same thing. When Jay and Nas did it, it was the exact same thing. You want to hear the diss response and the beef being recorded really soon after, but that's when we was on that like, oh, are they freestyling or can they just go in the studio and drop something right now or something like that? That's when it was more about like the art. Now it's more about the record. And so I have no problem in theory with him releasing a diss on his album.
This is really just a way to promote your projects, right? Well, I've decided, I don't know if you know, I wrote a diss track about you. Production, can you play that? Oh, they don't have it.
Everyone in the neighborhood knew about Bobby. Bobby, the basketball boy, they called him. Bobby wanted to go pro someday, so he was always out in the driveway shooting hoops. But one day, his mom came out and told him, "Hey, your wife wants you to take out the trash." His mom was visiting, and Bobby was a grown man. He had kind of missed his window. Plus, no one had ever seen him actually make a basket. But on the other hand, Bobby had heard how Geico could save him money on car insurance, so he switched and saved. So it was all good.
Before you derail Revis this, we were bringing up how we're trying to get cultural versus regional back. And the people have responded. They've responded by calling 98580-JALEN and pitching cultural versus regional. And here's some of the results. Reg?
What it do is Jay Rand from H-Town. Shout out Reg. I'm trying to get on. I'm straight from Houston, Texas. Man, holla at your boy. Get your boy on, man. I got a regional or cultural question I want to ask. Socks with the sandals. Is that cultural or regional? Let me know. You know, I'm from Texas, so you see some weird things around here. Holla at me.
Oh, that's regional.
That's regional.
That's southern.
You won't see that north of the Mason-Dixon line.
People do
you don't
it.
See that in the West Coast either, really.
Well, here's what I was gonna say. But it's hot on the West Coast just like it is down south. You do see people in LA doing it because you see a lot of people with flip-flops, with sandals, and they do it.
What's the point? I understand when real basketball players do it. They just get finished playing. They don't want to wear their basketball kicks. Their feet feel constricted. So they're like, all right, let me just throw some slides on and walk to my car and drive home or whatever. I get that. I don't understand it as a fashion decision.
I don't rock it that way. I guess one of the people that popularized it is my guy Big Boy from Outkast.
Of course.
No doubt about it. And so we got to get him on the show and ask him. But I would say overall...
Regional. I appreciate it, Jay Ren. Appreciate the call. Let's keep moving with more cultural and regional.
Jalen Jacoby, what's up? This is Quentin, Jackson, Mississippi. Question, cultural or regional? Riding around, busting blocks, a.k.a. just wasting gas on a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon. Cultural or regional? Let me know what you think. Keep getting them checks.
Shout out to Quinn, Mississippi.
Shout out.
Riding around busting blocks. First of all, it must be cultural or regional because I don't even know what busting blocks means.
This is 100% cultural. You're speaking my language. Yep. Okay, I'll take you back into the hands of time of how these situations transpire.
Okay. I love you said wasting gas.
I'm going to make it really direct.
Wasting gas. It's expensive now.
You have a car, but you live with one of your parents or a guardian. Let me say that again. You have a car, but you live with a guardian, which means sometimes the car has to function like the crib.
Home. I understand. Okay.
And not only at the driveway. And not only at the drive-in movie.
Okay.
Okay, the car has to have a lot of functions. You get to go pick up your homies in the car. Probably do some things you wouldn't do at home with your parents while you in the car with your homies.
And then there's various spots that you probably stop at, various parking lots, or maybe you don't go to the club, you sit outside the club, maybe you just sit outside 7-Eleven.
Conversations you want to have that you can't have in the house.
Of course.
And by the way, you live with your guardian, so you might have dates that you're getting in and out of the vehicle with, going to eat and going to Coney Island and doing a lot of different things. So
you're dancing around something. Medicinal's involved.
Yep. That too.
Okay, you're dancing around
that as well. That as well. You know what I mean? And so, like, you get to do everything that you can't do at home in your car. That's kind of how this works.
Okay.
And you get to listen to music the way you want, as loud as you want. Like, This has a lot of undertones. This is definitely culture. I own this. I support this. I've done this more times than I could ever dream about.
Thank you for the call, Quinn. Let's listen to one more cultural region.
Hey guys, this is Zach from Chicago, the Shy. Big shout out to Reg and the ones and twos. I love what you guys are doing on the podcast. Keeps me busy, entertained on the commute. Helps me avoid all the smelly riders on the train here. I got a cultural regional for you. Lowry salt on the popcorn. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, keep getting them checks. And God bless. Thank you.
Cultural regional. Lowry salt on the popcorn.
I'm going regional.
I'm going to say, I don't know. Lowry salt is not part of my life.
What?
Lowry salt is not part of my life. I see it a lot of places. I understand. I'm just telling you. Look, y'all see, Jalen's got this face. Jalen's got this look on his face like I just drowned a kitten in a bucket right in front of him.
You did.
Let me just tell you something. I did not drown a kitten in a bucket.
You did.
I did not. One thing you can't disagree with are my personal experiences. When I say Lowry salt is not part of my life, you can't say I'm wrong.
Okay, so let me jump in here for a minute real quick.
Okay.
So the answer to the
I know you love popcorn.
The answer to the initial caller is actually regional. Because if you love popcorn the way I do, there are multiple seasonings we like to put on it. Mm-hmm. And there's so many of people like me that love popcorn that I know understand this, and therefore you'll try anything that you have as seasoning.
Do you know what I do now?
To put on your popcorn.
Do you know one thing I love that the movie theaters have invented, that they've started incorporating? Is for an extra 50 cents, you can buy like a little shaker of like Parmesan or cheddar or whatever. I always get those.
Correct.
Kick it up a notch.
So that's what I'm saying. So when you're making popcorn, it's like, oh, try a little salt. Oh, try a little pepper. Mm-hmm. Oh, try a little Lowry's.
My wife put the sugar in there, make it like a little kettle corn.
No question about it. So there are a lot of different ways. And my favorite popcorn is Garrett's.
Of course.
That's cheese popcorn and caramel corn. Now, so that's about the popcorn.
We breezed over the Chicago mix, and the caller is from Chicago.
Chi-Town mix all day.
Say it again.
Good job.
Say it again.
Chi-Town mix, Garrett's popcorn all day.
It's half caramel, half cheddar cheese. It sounds disgusting.
All day.
When you look at it, you don't even want to try it. You want to like spread it out and segregate it. But when it's together, it does work.
No question. So that's this part. Did you just teach me that Lowry's?
Yep.
It's cultural?
No. Again, I can only speak from a lot of times when it comes to like socks and slides, I have enough personal information from the people that I've seen that I feel like I can make a general point about it. But when it comes to Lowry salts, it's not like I've looked in everyone's spice cabinet and taken note. I'm just saying it's not really part of my life.
I have.
Have you looked at my spice cabinet?
Yes.
Get out my spice cabinet.
You got apple cider vinegar as well.
Get out my spice cabinet.
Everybody listening to this program, you got it. You don't even realize it's in there. Lowry's is in there too. That's another one. I guarantee you, you have Lowry. When you go home today, I will bet anything there's Lowry's seasoning salt in your cabinet.
I might. We'll see. Do you know what my wife did? Spice drawer. Let me pitch you this. One thing about the spice cabinet that's always a problem is you organize it once, right? But it just gets all messed up. You can only see the ones that are right in front of you, and then you're on your tippy toes looking for the back, picking up one with the top you think it is, it's not, picking up another one. My wife, spice drawer. Everyone that's listening to this, sounds crazy. Spice drawer. Try it. You open the drawer, you see every one of the spices.
That makes sense. And then you can just thumb through them. But here's the one thing, like they do a better job of having contraptions that close now so things won't spill. That's the only thing I would think about. Like wouldn't want anything to spill and look down in the drawer and have remnants from each of the containers in the drawer.
Make your own mix.
No question. But other than that, I'm gonna have to try that.
Try to incorporate that. I know what
add that to the game.
You're gonna suggest that Molly incorporate it. I know how that goes.
Well, I don't get to pick where the things go.
That's not your jurisdiction. I was about to say, that's not your jurisdiction.
I'm like, okay,
that's not your jurisdiction at all. That's not your jurisdiction.
Can I put the water here? Like, no.
I promise. If you went home, right? If you rushed home and got home before Molly got off of first take, and you changed the spice cabinet into a spice drawer, that's a 40-minute conversation.
It is.
That's a 40-minute conversation.
She would not be happy.
You don't need that. She's like, you better be cooking everything if you're going to change the spice drawer. You know what? I love cultural versus regional. Let's do it.
Me too.
What up, though? Hey, this is Robbie from Las Vegas. I got a cultural or regional question for you. So seeing as how I just had a birthday pass recently, birthday punches. cultural or regional? Get back at me. Been a long time listener. Put me on, baby. Keep getting them checks.
Birthday punches. This happened when I was like 10 and 11 years old. But ever since then, birthday punches haven't been a part of my life.
This is regional.
It must be.
This is East Coast, Midwest, some in the South.
Like birthday punches, it can't be cultural.
Some in the West. But for the most part, overall, it's not a cultural thing.
It's not only in the Northwest.
It's a regional thing. They doing it some on the West Coast. They doing it some on the East Coast. They doing it some in the Midwest. They doing it some in the South.
It doesn't feel ethically cultural, ethically specific in any way, shape, or form.
Not at all. And right now, in today's climate, it's not politically correct. It's like slap boxing. Like, we knew what line not to cross. Now it's cats like Rico on Paid in Full want to come to your party and stuff the whole cake in your face and think it's funny.
I've only been in one slap boxing match in my life, and it will be the last. Because you know what happened.
It's the dumbest thing ever.
You know what happened. It turned into a fight.
What a noble thought.
Yeah, guess what? If you smack me in my face really hard, because it starts off like I'm not going to smack you that hard, but then in order to get it to land it, you have to move your arm fast, which inherently makes you slap them hard.
Correct, because it's a speed thing.
Exactly.
That's why jaw season was different. Now you see the difference in the two games. Jaw season
is regional.
You were on the playground, they had their mouth open a little bit, you just tap their jaw like with your little knuckles.
Jaw season is regional. It might be just regional to St. Cecilia's or wherever you were at the time. It really might be generational and regional. Cultural versus regional is really growing. There's generational, there's universal. We'll see. This is from Mikhail. Cultural or regional? Dabbing in 2018.
Mikhail, I like what you did there.
I saw they flipped it.
It's like rap music. It started in the city, it started in the urban community, then when it went suburbs, it kind of got lost.
Dabbing in 2018 is cultural.
It is, no question about it.
People that are doing it look more like me than look like
Hillary Clinton dabbing.
Yeah, that's what happened. Mikhail, thank you so much for the question. Dabbing in 2018 is definitely cultural.
And we retired it.
Next, we have this, cultural or regional? Rooting for Christian McCaffrey. Now, it's obviously regional if you are in the Carolinas and you're a Carolina Panther fan. You're going to root for him regardless. But you know what? I root for Christian McCaffrey.
It's cultural.
I root for Christian McCaffrey.
Come on now.
I love Christian McCaffrey.
How about this? You can't tell me deep down in your heart of hearts, since the last American-born great Hall of Fame type player that comes to mind is Larry Bird, that every white guy that's come along ever since, you have to root for them.
Of course.
Kevin Love, Gordon Hayward.
Of course.
Jason Williams.
It's only natural. Anyone that doesn't
Mike
tell you
Miller,
that is lying. Anyone who doesn't tell you that is lying. Anyone who doesn't tell you that is lying. Of course I do. And I root for Christian McCaffrey harder than all of those people.
And for those that don't know, there are not many running backs in the NFL that look like Christian McCaffrey.
I convinced myself that Christian McCaffrey is going to be the next Barry Sanders.
There aren't many defensive backs that look like Christian McCaffrey. So now he's the next Barry Sanders.
So I promise we're one of the only outlets covering this. And maybe that's for good reason. But there's an update on Lambeau. It's probably for good reason. But Lambeau's got an update.
On top of lawyers already hollered at him?
No.
Huh?
Not yet.
They're going to let him cook a little bit then.
Lambeau, if you don't know, is a quote-unquote rapper that dated...
I can't stand you right now.
Gloria James, mother of LeBron James.
The king.
The relationship between Gloria and Lambeau didn't work out. So he's sitting around thinking, what is he going to do with himself? And he decided he's going to write a book. I don't think he's got a book deal for this book. And he's, in order to sell the book, has some claims about LeBron James's romantic exploits that don't exclusively involve Savannah. And again, I don't want to act like I'm reporting this or act like this is a real thing. So if you are listening to this, there are certain things that we will say were reported by someone or allegedly or whatever. But this is really just Lambeau popping off trying to sell a book. But he's now saying that he's going to go on talk shows. Do you want to have Lambeau on the show, Jim?
Not at all.
I don't either. What do you think any talk show is going to have him on? Wendy?
Somebody will.
This is 50? Where's he?
Not on 50.
Where's he
50 ain't going up.
Vlad TV? Where's he going to go?
Shout out to Vlad. That's my man.
Oh, of course. Who's taking Lambo? Who's taking Lambo up on this offer?
Nobody. None of the people you said.
I'm trying to think. He'll pop up somewhere. Someone's going to get in the mud with Lambo and do this for the clicks.
Nah. This is somebody in Cleveland will do it if LeBron leave.
Jalen, we got some more cultural regional for you.
Okay.
Reggie, let's listen to the next one.
What up, dog? DJ in Milwaukee. Shout out to Reds in the 360. Cultural or regional? You on the basketball court, 10 to 12 guys out there, every man for himself. Is it 21, 32, or hustle? I'm originally from Omaha, Nebraska. We going with 21 or 21 tip out. In addition, same thing, on the grass, playing one football, 15, 20 guys, throw the ball up, touchdown on that side, touchdown on that side, one man runs back and forth, gets tackled, guy throw the ball up. We call it kill the man. My daughter calls it killer man. Holla at me.
Yo, Big J, I just like his approach. I just like the way he says things.
Big
Big J.
Thank you for the call. We appreciate the love and your level of detail is what I appreciate. You brought me into those situations.
Shout out to your daughter, too.
No question about it. You brought me into the situation when you said 10 to 12 guys out there.
Everyone for themselves.
What do you call it?
So this is definitely regional.
This is regional.
Definitely regional.
Because you're from Omaha. I'm from Michigan. We call that 21.
Okay.
And then to get people out,
you know what they call it in New York City?
Out.
You know what they call it in New York City? Utah. 21 in New York City is called Utah. Anyone that's listening to this in New York City is bobbing their head right now being like, yep, it's called Utah. No one knows why. No one knows why it's called Utah. But you don't say, hey, you guys want to play 21? You say, hey, do you guys want to play Utah? Utah.
And then the second thing, wow, that's funny, from the Mecca, is the football and how it's played when there's multiple people out there playing. The game that he's talking about, Killer Man or Killer Man, we call Pick 'em Up, F 'em Up.
Yes, we had it. We Pick 'em Up, F 'em Up was very similar to what we called that as well. But we didn't play that one very often, to be honest with you. Because it was like, oh, we'll just play this until someone breaks a leg, and then we'll stop, and then we'll just do something else.
And you know the one thing that kind of curtailed, not that I was good in any way, shape, or form, but you know why I didn't want to play football as much? I'm like, I don't have insurance. You know, I'm out here getting hit. I remember leaving the field one time, my leg was hurting. I go to the house. My mother was trying to help me wrap my leg. It was like so red, it was bruised. And she's like, what happened? She's like, you're playing football outside? I was like, she's like, I don't think that's a smart idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? Like, and so that is more of like, I love the game and I'm not good in any way, shape, or form, but I would have played more street football.
I'm sure you're all right.
I had insurance.
Do you know what else is regional? Snow football. Snow football is fun because the ground,
most fun ever.
Snow football is the best
ever
because it doesn't hurt as much when you get tackled. There's something fun about it. You're wearing all this gear. Snow football is the best type of pickup football
ever.
But however, if there's one type of football that I enjoy more than anything else, this might be not regional, cultural, universal, medicinal. This is probably personal. What I love more than anything else when it comes to football is when I'm at the beach and someone throws me a pass and I'm running into the waves and I jump up and the wave is like a defender and I catch it and the wave hits me at the exact same time and I can hold the ball above the water to prove that I held it through the ground. That is the best type of football.
That just sounds like vacation.
Yeah, that sounds great. I would say football at the beach, if me and my boys in football at the beach, that's 3.5 hours of entertainment right there. 3.5 hours of entertainment.
I'll tell you what's cultural, though, since you're talking about the beach. Beach volleyball.
Interesting. Now that you mentioned that, I think that might be cultural. One thing about beach volleyball I love is I never played volleyball. in any way, shape, or form. I didn't play indoors, I didn't play outdoors, I didn't play beach. But if you get me on the beach, I'll play some beach volleyball.
You notice that you'll play anything.
Look good.
You'll play football, you'll play volleyball, you'll throw the frisbee.
Yeah, pro kadima, which is also cultural. You don't even know what pro kadima is.
That's just called day drinking and being on the beach.
Do you know what pro kadima is? No. That's cultural. Pro kadima is definitely
only
cultural.
kadima I know is Hardison.
Okay, when you're at the beach, how do you bring and how do you consume adult beverages?
How do I bring?
And one where it's not allowed. Generally, adult beverages are not allowed on the beach.
Whatever container they come in.
It's like a red cup type of thing.
Well, you got to bring the red, some sort of cooler.
And then you got to bring some cups.
A cooler.
And then you always got to put the bottle back because when those guys drive around in the ATVs or whatever, you don't want them to come over
cooler
and ask
because you can't. Yeah, because you got to open it to see what's in it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can keep the ice in there.
I would definitely say that. I love the beach, man. It's about beach season. And now I live in New York, I'm going to be hitting up LBI, taking the LIRR out to the beach, going to Coney Island, going on the Cyclone, the batting cages, going out to Rockaway. New York has better beaches than people think.
That's what we need to do. This show needs to go, or forget the show, me and you need to go,
it's better.
To the batting cage.
I went to the batting cage last weekend.
Hit the brakes, Reg.
You weren't invited.
We talked about this before on a program.
Okay.
You're selfish.
Before you start throwing accusations out and using words like selfish, let me explain to you the situation. It was my boy's birthday party, and he had an athletic birthday party. You weren't invited. You don't know him. Okay? Actually, you do. You met Rom. He's the best. But he was like, what we did is we played dodgeball first, basketball second, then batting cages. Then we put those bubbles on.
That's
you know those big bubbles? We played soccer with the bubbles on. Then we played pickup soccer, and then we drank beers because we were all tired.
Well, here's one of the things that you didn't do that I appreciate. Just because I invite you, I don't invite your boy too. So even though I'm a celebrity, you're not supposed to bring me also.
No.
I wasn't invited.
No. I'm not bringing you, and you're barely a celebrity.
I know, and I wasn't invited.
No, you're not invited.
I don't like when I invite somebody and then they bring 3 other people.
You can't do that. Oh, you can't do that. And I will never, ever bring somebody somewhere without saying, oh, by the way, my boy, I have plans with him. Do you mind? Feel free to say no. Always give them an out, too. You never want to ask somebody a question that they feel like they have to answer affirmatively. Those are questions I don't like to ask when you put people in that position. Dodgeball, cultural.
That's universal.
Have you ever played dodgeball?
That's universal.
It's universal.
That's universal.
Did you play dodgeball in PE class?
Played everything. Dodgeball,
I don't think they
kickball.
Do that anymore. I don't think they do dodgeball in PE class
because of the fear of injury.
Exactly.
That was the difference. And not necessarily just being hit by the ball, but like somebody pull a hamstring or something like that.
Oh, no, let me tell you this. I got injured playing dodgeball. When was the last time you threw something as hard as you possibly can?
Dodgeball gave me a chance to do that.
It must have been like 15 years ago?
I've done it with footballs not too long. Yeah, I've done it with football.
Really?
Try to throw it as far as you can.
Reggie, push the that's a lie button.
Oh, seriously, probably like a year ago. Try to throw the football as far as I can.
I want to thank you.
You think you throw a football further than me?
No. That's not one of the things I'm good at.
You think you play kickball better than me? Dodgeball better than me?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so we need to have Jalen and Jacoby battle of this show stars.
Olympic. Battle of this show stars. That is the best name for a segment that we've had. I want to give a big shout out to everybody that called in with their cultural or regional questions. Everybody that tweeted with them as well. We're really into this. We'll get sick of it in a couple weeks. But we need you to hit up 985-80-JALEN to keep leaving those. Enjoy your weekends, everybody. Stay safe. We'll be back on Monday. Why, KRS?
We're not done. We're not done. To give the people what they want.
They my little guys. I love them.